welcome our beloved mentor in all things healthy living, the co-creator of PFC3, the founder of Disruptive Nutrition, nutritionist and behavior specialist, Carrie Lupoli.
I paid $5. And he said something that changed my life. He said, what do you think is more correct, eating an apple or pizza with chicken? And I didn't eat the pizza. As a senior in college, it was when I realized I had an eating disorder, and it was because my work brought in pizza, and I knew that if I ate pizza, I would get fat, and if I got fat, then I would have no value.
And we're brought up on this diet culture, but can you kind of explain a little bit about what a diet culture is?
Yeah, it's just such a genius. It's the most genius marketing plan known to man and woman.
Why do we keep going back to quick fixes, even when we know they don't work?
Welcome to the Coaches Hotline. Glucose, grit, and grace. Real talk with coaches, no sugarcoating.
We're here to help you ditch the diet cycle, stabilize blood sugar, and finally feel at home in your body.
Because health isn't about restriction, it's about freedom, energy, and confidence.
Let's dive in.
One of the things that you talk about very often is food freedom. Mm-hmm. And as I'm listening to you talk about that corset, I can't help but have that phrase, food freedom, running in my head and hearing you speak about it. What does that look like in real life for someone who has spent decades dieting, like myself?
Mm-hmm. I feel like food and freedom have never been put together for a dieting woman. Food, will be a source of emotional, a crutch for us. And then we villainize food. We have this very problematic relationship with food. We don't understand it. We kind of go after hunger like a badge of honor. And, putting the word freedom next to food is like, when I ask women, what do you think food freedom means? They're like, I don't, it's a phrase that doesn't even equate in my brain. And I think it's because for so often we use food is something, this is what's so interesting when it comes to women and relationships with foods, because we have to have food, right? It has to be a part of our life every single day. It's a part of our society. It's a part of our culture. It's a part of a fellowship. It's part of survival. It's a part of everything. And yet if we have this problematic relationship with food, it's like we can't just ignore it. We can't just, it's not like a boyfriend that's not nice to us and we break up with them. It's not break-upable. So we have to find a way to understand food and our body. And then when we do, and we have that relationship with something that is such a pivotal part of us, and we are empowered and we understand it and we are in control of it, it becomes freedom in a whole nother way, because I think for us, food has forced us into a cage. And when then we actually improve our relationship with food, it feels like everything else gets better in our lives. Mm-hmm. And so food freedom to me is like this freedom out of the cage that food and diet culture has put us in.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's interesting because, before this, we had good food and bad food. For me, I had good food and bad food. And now anymore, it's like, it's all food. It's just a matter of what I want to select that's healthy for me. So,
Yeah. I mean, I think that's the biggest thing. And I remember it was just that came to me once when I asked a woman I was talking to, I'm like, hang on a second. Do you look at food as good or bad, as healthy or unhealthy? And she was like, yes. And I realized I go back and I listen and I'm like, how many times have we said, oh, I can't eat the cake. Oh, that's so bad. Oh, I'm so bad. And as a behavior specialist, I analyze behaviors and I realized the identity that we put on food and these binary categories connects to how we feel about ourselves. And so when we eat something unhealthy, when we eat something bad, we feel shame and we feel guilt and we feel like disempowered. We feel like we don't have control. And then that becomes who we are. And if every time you eat, you are judging yourself based on whether or not you're eating something good or bad, then what does that become of you? And so when I just started like praying about it and reflecting about it, and I'm like, wait a minute. food serves our body and food serves our soul, and we need both. We just need to serve our body more than we serve our soul. And I realized it became dynamic because I had a client once who was in the middle of literal nowhere. And there was a burger bar or something. And she was like, I just felt like I shouldn't eat because it wasn't going to be clean. And I was like, at that moment, that burger bar was serving your body. Right. Now, that might not have been, that might have been a soul-filling meal if you had a Panera across the street. But if that was all you had, then you say, okay, I know I want to serve my body. I'm going to do the best I can by serving my body here. Or you make the choice that says, I'm going to serve my soul. As long as we're just intentional about it and we don't break the promises to ourselves, then that changes the whole relationship, I think, that we have with food.
Yeah, absolutely. So a lot of what we talk about has to do with blood sugar stabilization, all right, and stabilizing our blood sugar. So what do you think is the biggest misconception people have about blood sugar stabilization?
I know what it is. They think it's for diabetics.
Yes.
Yep. And what's so crazy is that I had a coach for many years, and she still does some consulting with us. She is a diabetic expert for the VA. And I went to high school with her, and she actually started working with me as a client because all of my coaches were clients first. She started working with me as a client because I did some like free seminar, I think years and years ago. I think it was like 2018. And she ended up contacting me and she said, Carrie, everything you're talking about is so fascinating because I work only with diabetics. Like that's my job. I've been doing it for 20 years. And we were taught that your blood sugar will just take care of itself until you're a diabetic and then you got to deal with it.
Yeah.
That's literally what she was taught.
Right.
Like, what? Advanced degrees. This is what she does for a living for more than 20 years. She was like the salutatorian in my high school class and had no idea. And that was the moment that it hit me at how different what I taught was because people don't know it. And I'm like, if she doesn't know it, it's unbelievable to me. There's no like, I can see why other people wouldn't know it.
Yeah, it's like people think that if they're going to be pre-diabetic, they're just destined to be diabetic down the road, you know?
Or they hear like, well, my dad was diabetic, so I'll
Right.
probably. And we it's almost like it's like I don't know, the way we think about wrinkles. Like we're gonna get older, we're gonna have wrinkles, we're gonna get gray hair, we're gonna get diabetes. And I think about diabetes, like pre-diabetes is not pre, it's diabetes. Your doctor has just not put you on medication yet.
Right.
And to me, it's a cancer diagnosis. My father-in-law is diabetic and he's just dying. And we're at the point where, when your blood sugar is so dysregulated for so long, your will is gone. Your anxiety, your depression is so high. And unfortunately, like there will likely be limbs amputated before he actually dies because he's just given up. And it's a death sentence. There's no other way to look at it. But the crazy thing is, I always say, like, if you were diagnosed with cancer and I told you that there was an absolutely guaranteed way to reverse the cancer and never get it again, you would be like, well, of course I will do that.
Right.
And I'm like, so this is what we do every single day. We reverse diabetes. You cannot reverse diabetes on medication. You will just slow down the death. And diabetes is a horrible way to die, but it is an even more awful, torturous, abusive, horrendous way to live.
Yeah.
And I think we act like it's wrinkles.
It
isn't.
Yeah. And and how empowering it is to help people understand that doesn't have to be inevitable.
Right. And then when you think about blood sugar too, it's like actually it is the root foundation for every single thing in our body.
Exactly.
So like whether we're gaining weight, like we got to stop going after weight loss. We actually have to start going after blood sugar balance. And then that's the root of it all. Our cravings, our fatigue, IBS, PCOS, every single literal menopausal symptoms all comes because our blood sugar is dysregulated, because once one hormone is off, all hormones are off. And once we keep over releasing insulin and cortisol because of our blood sugar dysregulation, one night of dysregulated sleep will impact your body like that of a type 2 diabetic. And once like we start doing that, and like with all the processed food in our society and how quick we are trying to just get food into our body with convenience, no wonder 30% of teenagers are now pre-diabetic. We've never, ever, ever seen that before. It is so scary. The solution is so simple. And I just feel like Yeah, it bothers me so much that we don't actually know the solution. Most people.
Well, yeah, but we do, and we're getting the
Yes.
word out there, right? So let's pivot a little bit. Our show is called Glucose, Grit, and Grace. So we were wondering, how do you see those things working together in a real life transformation process in your clients, in us, in you?
I love the name of your podcast. It was like made me so happy when you guys figured out that name. I love a good alliteration, first of all.
Who
But
doesn't?
like, to me, this is like when I'm talking to women and they're talking to me about possibly working with me in my private practice, one of the things my team and I look for is a woman that's gritty. And grit is, Angela Duckworth wrote a book called Grit, and it is proven to be one of the character strengths that will give people the most success in life. And grit is something that can be learned. It's not just like you are gritty or you aren't gritty. But in my process for people to work with us, they have to go through like an informational training of some sort. They have to answer some questions. They book a call, and then we have them kind of engage in a few other learning activities. And that we have women that say, this is too much. I can't do this. And I'm like, okay. And we just know that they're not gritty. Like they have to be gritty because life is going to show up. And if we think that we just need a meal plan, just tell me what to eat, but you're not actually learning how to show up for yourself when life gets hard, you're never going to be successful. I don't care if I give you the perfect meal plan. And so grit to me is one of the most essential pieces of the puzzle. And that's basically like standing up even when you get knocked down. Right. And continuing to say that my why is so big, I'm going to get gritty and figure out solutions. And I think that's what I ended up doing. Right. Like I was like, I have to figure this out. I have to figure this out because I refuse to allow my kids to grow up in the same way that I did. And now I stick with it because I refuse for them to have to take care of me when I'm older. And I also know that I'm here for a purpose and I want to be the healthiest version of myself so I can fulfill that purpose for as long as possible. So grit is just to me like such an amazing word. And again, I love a good alliteration. So glucose is the foundation, right? It's the foundation of what our bodies need to have controlled, that we need to understand, that we don't. Like it's crazy to me that we know more about calories than anything else. And I'm like, okay, look, my water bottle has about 200 calories. It's not food. Calories are about energy. If you burn an item, how much energy is being burned from that item? If I took a book and burned it, that would give me the number of calories. It's just crazy to me that we don't understand that the calories in food is the most misunderstood, like ubiquitous term ever. So by saying glucose, to me, it's like we're redefining what our focus should be, which I love. And then grace to me that's my daughter's name. That is what we have to give ourselves. We have to understand I always say no guilt, just data. There should be no guilt. It's just understanding ourselves and having self-awareness and treating ourselves the way we would treat a friend, with grace and love. Because if you were here for a purpose, and my faith always drives me, like I want to respect that life that I've been given. And if I don't give myself grace, how am I going to keep moving forward? And I just think that glucose, grace, being like all three of these things go together so well. Like you can't kind of have one without the other.
Yeah. And I like the grace when you talked about, having grace, because we don't give ourselves grace. Many times we just beat ourselves up. We don't say, and I love the phrase that you say a lot of times, it's just data. Take it as data, analyze it, do whatever you want with it, but that's all it is. It's data. So to me, that has been one of the main things that I've thought about, because when I thought, oh, I slipped up, and it's like, no, I didn't. It was perfectly fine. Here's the reason some of this happened. Maybe I might do this differently the next time. Maybe I won't. But I think that's the big part about the grace, giving yourself grace.
Well, I think we also have always used this conditioning of the diet world that you're on or you're off, and that you're on this wagon, you're off the wagon. I keep saying, let's just get rid of the wagon. There's no wagon to fall off of anymore. We're just living our life, and this journey will never end. Like it's not a 30-day challenge that by the end of 30 days, you now don't have to think about this anymore. It's like getting control of your finances. It doesn't mean you don't still think about money. It's like parenting. It doesn't mean you don't think about parenting every day. Like we have to think about our life and the way that we show up for ourselves, our body, nutrition, all of that. But it's got to be coming from a place of love. And I think that was a big thing, Elaine, that you realized in this, that you had so many years of being so frustrated with your body that you showed up. Think about it. Like, you were trying to like deal with this relationship of this body that you were so mad at. And, all of us are married and have a relationship. Can you imagine just showing up every day with your spouse, just hating him?
Angry. Yeah.
Like,
It won't
how
work.
far would you ever get in that marriage?
Right.
Right. And I just think same with our kids. So why do we think about the relationship between our body and ourselves so differently? Like, it's got to be based in love. This is it. This is the one that we've been given.
Right.
Right. And I even like, that's why curly hair is even just such a conversation, I think, because I fought my curly hair for 40 years. And every once in a while, like maybe once every 2 years, I'll straighten my hair just like for fun. But it's like, I used to straighten my hair every single day because I felt like I wasn't good enough and I had to look a certain way. And then it was like when I actually embraced who I was and decided I was going to just do my curly hair, it was like I became authentic and me, and I wasn't trying to be like anybody else. And I think that's part of the problem. We compare ourselves to everyone else. We think we have to be like everyone else. They did this diet. They look good. Their life must be perfect. We're actually searching for something that we think the diet's going to give us. It's not actually about weight. It's about this peace. It's about confidence. And we think the diet's going to give it to us, but we're actually barking up the wrong tree.
And we have to work on it every day. I like how you say there's no stagnation. We either are moving forward or we're moving backwards.
Yeah.
And so you just want to keep working on it every day to get just a little bit better tomorrow and a little bit better the next day.
Yeah, I thought about that concept when I lived in Singapore for almost 7 years, and there's a law for everything in Singapore. And there was a law that you couldn't have water standing still in your house. They actually had people coming and inspecting your home to make sure you didn't have standing still water because it could attract mosquitoes, and the mosquitoes in Asia could carry all sorts of the dengue virus, right? So we actually had to make sure if there was rain that like there were no puddles that were that would be over like an hour long. It was so crazy. But it got me thinking, like, even just water, still water gets stagnant and attracts, a deadly a deadly virus. And so nothing stays the same. Nothing stays still. And if we're actually not doing anything, we're going backwards. We're actually becoming more toxic and unhealthy. And so we have to keep kind of going upstream and absolutely working to push ourselves in a direction that innately we don't necessarily, it's not easier.
Well, and when you talk about pushing yourself and really going upstream, that's not about a meal plan. Like, we know that when you eat the right foods, your blood sugar will stabilize. But can you talk about, I think, the most critical component of this, which is mindset? What role does that really play in not only blood sugar stabilization, but really making this a lifestyle that is sustainable?
Well, there's this kind of way of thinking about this is where when I first started teaching women about food, I really just thought it was about the food. And then I realized that there were so many reasons why they ended up not sticking with it. And I know this formula that I taught when I was an educational consultant. Our thoughts and our beliefs dictate our actions. We literally cannot do something that we don't think about first and that we don't believe. So just take speeding, for example, right? Like if we're speeding, we're thinking very likely, like maybe the scenario, which is typically mine. Oh my gosh, I'm so late. I'm not going to make it. Like I am thinking about that first, right? And I then believe that if I could actually just go a little bit faster, I won't be as late. And then people won't think that I'm an irresponsible person because I'm late all the time. So then I speed. If I have a belief that speeding is absolutely wrong, that it is not part of an option for me, then even if I have that thought, oh, I'm late. Oh my gosh, I know. Like if I sped up, I could probably get there faster. But my belief system sits in the fact that I do not speed, then my action will follow suit. And so what I realized, it was a big piece of the puzzle that I was not addressing. And I say all the time, self-consciousness is a disease, and we do that subconsciously. So we're self-conscious and it's subconscious, but it feels like truth because we don't question it. It's self-awareness that is actual health. And one of my coaches once said to me, you can't see the label from inside the jar. And so if we don't actually allow ourselves the chance to look at our belief systems and look at the stuff that's inside the jar, then we're not even going to know it's there. So we have to be self-aware and actually recognizing the belief. It's the very first piece of the whole puzzle. We innately go to the negative. And it's like a 70-30 split in terms of our brain and how it goes to the negative versus goes to the positive. And so we actually permeate negative thoughts. I just had this conversation with my daughter this morning. She was talking to me. She's an actress. She was at a rehearsal for a show she's in. And she literally gave me the 15 things that just went wrong at rehearsal and how annoyed she was. And I just said, Grace, there's so many negative thoughts kind of lining up in your head right now. I said, you are like, what are you where you want to be? And she's like, yeah. I'm like, the Grace a year ago would have been like, oh my gosh, I am in a main stage performance. Like, this is so great. Like, your beliefs around having gratitude about recognizing where you are, why this is so powerful, can then change your thoughts, and then your experience is going to be better. But if she's thinking negatively and believing negatively, not aware and like thoughtful about her belief systems, then how do you think her rehearsal's going to go? Like, she's not going to perform as well, and her actions will follow suit. So we can see this in different examples, and we have to recognize that the same exact thing happens with our lives. It's why we go on and off diets. It's why we can't stick with things. It's why we let life throw curveballs at us. It all has to do with our belief systems.
Yeah, it does. And this is why what you teach has been so powerful for all of us. When we were your private clients, that's the part that made the big difference, that made us be able to keep it sustainable, because we understood what we believed and what we wanted for ourselves. And nobody else teaches that.
That's where it's like, I could give you the meal plan, but it's not going to work. And I just stopped doing that. There was a while that I gave women the choice. Do you want to have a coach or not have a coach? Because it could be less expensive without a coach if I just gave them the information. And 0% of people were successful.
Exactly.
0. Because you need somebody to help you see the label from outside the jar.
Yeah. And I find that too, that when people have coaches, if they don't have a coach, there's no one to give them that other perspective. And they're just thinking in the same mind, thinking that they've had in the past. So that's where I would not have been able to do this without my coach.
Yeah. Agreed.
Absolutely.
And I think it's really a fear. Why we don't have it. Fear of actually like somebody seeing that we aren't perfect, somebody calling us out, us having to do something about it. And I always say, if you want something different, you got to do something different, but we don't really want to do something different.
No.
Right.
But if we're not aware of that, we will just let the subconscious fear just convince us that I can't do this right now. I can't afford a coach. I got too many other things going on in my life. We will make up every single excuse in the world why we can't do this. But I say all day long, what is more important than this? Literally what?
Totally.
Yeah, nothing for sure.
Yeah.
So, Carrie, if you could give one bite of encouragement to our listeners, somebody who is just tired and frustrated and fed up with the dieting industry, what would you say to them?
That you're not broken. That your body is simply working to be its best friend with you. And if you can just start to see that and have some little moments of gratitude for what your body is doing and what it is working so hard to do every single day, just that little bit of perspective can help you to show up just a little bit differently so you guys can work together. But there's nothing wrong with you and your body is not broken.
Yes, that's life-changing.
So
Sadly, we're almost out of time, but we wanted to do a little fun thing with you. We wanted to do a little lightning round. I don't know if you ever watched the Vogue. Sometimes on Instagram, they'll follow a celebrity around and they'll just ask them rapid fire questions.
Oh boy. Okay.
Okay. So we just have a few. We didn't want to overwhelm you too much, but I'm going to start and I'm going to ask, what is your go-to coffee order?
Oh, my go-to coffee order, black coffee, nothing in it.
There you
That's
go.
it. Yep.
You like
Americano.
Cold brew or?
Nope. Hot. Always hot.
I'm there with you.
What about your favorite strength training exercise?
It's so funny because I strength train every day, but I don't like strength training. I like having done it, but I don't want to do it. But I will say I've been strength training with my trainer for 12 years. And so when a certain exercise comes up, I'm like, oh, I like that. They're power cleans. If it's like a big barbell and you actually take it from like you're holding it down at your thighs and you actually have to like pull it up over your shoulders kind of, and it kind of sits on your shoulders a little. And it's, to me, it's like a power move. Like it's like, it's a heavy weight that I just got up to like my neck. And I just think there's a technique to do it. So it's not as hard, but I think it looks badass.
Yeah. What is your favorite go-to balanced grab and go meal?
Hard-boiled eggs and fruit. It's so boring, but Costco has like these cage-free eggs that are already hard-boiled, and I grab a pack of those and usually an apple, and it's like, it's better than, it's better for my body than maybe a protein bar, but it's just as easy to grab and go. It's so boring though, but it tastes good to me, and it's sort of like my go-to quick, I don't know, solution.
Cool.
That's awesome. Okay, what is your favorite positive affirmation that you tell yourself?
Oh, my favorite positive affirmation. It's so funny because I I don't do a lot of like traditional affirmations. I go live every morning on Instagram and I do daily declarations because I believe it's like a little coach in your pocket. Because with affirmations, and I know like I've studied a lot about it and I understand it, but I'm like, if I don't like, when I was first starting out and it was like, I am strong, I am capable, and I am beautiful. And I'm just like, I don't feel that way. Like I felt like just saying that out loud didn't make me change my mind. So I kind of like to like coach myself through a little bit and just kind of reframe it to be like, remember, and give myself a phrase of coaching versus affirmation. But I will say the thing that I say all the time that is in my head, that I say to my kids, that I think about before I do or say anything is it kind? Is it necessary? Is it helpful? And I feel like if we could all live by that kind of mantra, I feel like the world could just be a better place.
Yeah,
I agree.
that's awesome.
And saying that to ourselves.
Very
Right.
powerful.
Yes. What is your best go-to supplement?
My best go-to supplement. So I look at supplements in a few different ways, like a supplement, like a pill or a vitamin. I also think about supplemental practices that we might do to fill the gaps. So my best supplemental practice is sauna. I sauna every day. My best supplement that I take, I would say, is my digestive enzyme, Zyve 7. Digestive enzyme, probiotic, prebiotic. My husband, actually, we were in the car the other day and he's like, Zyve is the best thing that I've ever found for my body. I'm like, I know. So Zyve 7 is my favorite. I think if your gut health is the core, and no matter what we do, we're never going to get everything we need in our food.
Yeah. All right. So this one might be hard. One word that sums up this lifestyle.
Freedom. So easy. It's just, it's like a freedom, a weight, a literal weight that has come off of my brain, my heart, my soul. And freedom, I always say confidence does not come because you've met a goal. Confidence comes when you know what you're doing is right. And when you have that freedom, it's just everything else follows through, and including confidence.
Well, that's interesting because even on social media, it's the freedom to scroll past all of those diet type ads now and go on to the other stuff.
And when you're free, you're also not a victim. And I think that we have a lot of victim mentality because other people aren't doing certain things, and then we feel like that dictates us. And I think it goes along with that mindset of not being a victim. If you're a victim, you're not free. But if you're free, you get to make your own choices, your own boundaries, and let everyone else do whatever they're going to do, and just have responsibility for yourself.
Yep.
Yeah. And when you're free from outside control. So food doesn't control you.
Yes.
Other people don't control you. Situations don't control you. You are the one that decides.
It's the steadiness.
Yeah.
Right. That I feel like when you're on the dieting roller coaster just is impossible.
Yeah. So, well, Carrie, how can people get in touch with you?
Oh, well, thank you. CarrieLupoli.com is my website. Everything is on there. And I think what's most fun is all of us hang out on Instagram in the morning at Carrie_Lupoli for my live daily declarations. So go join me over there and we'll hang out every morning.
Yeah, those are great. They're part of my morning time.
Awesome.
So, Carrie, thank you so much for joining us today. I'm so sad that we're out of time already. But
well, you guys can have me on anytime you want. I mean, this is really your show, not mine, but I love being here. And I'm so proud of you, ladies. I can't even tell you how many lives you're impacting. And trust me, I have my own podcast and I know how hard it is to actually produce a podcast and come up with content, and you guys are crushing it. So keep going.
Thank you.
Well, thank you.
Well, we'll have you back on when you get your book published.
Oh, let's do that. That will be fun.
That'll be super exciting. So thank you too for your passion, your big, beautiful heart, and all the positive changes that you're bringing to the world. I know that the three of us and the thousands of women worldwide who are living in the healthiest versions of themselves, they do it. They're doing it now because you pour out so much into each of us. So thank you for all you do. And thank you for sharing with us today. We really appreciate it. For you listeners, if you guys have enjoyed this episode, please like and subscribe and share it with friends and family. There are so many nuggets of wisdom and amazing thoughts in this episode. We want you to share it with everybody you know. So if you want to get in contact with us or Carrie, use the links in the show notes or comment below, and we'd love to continue the conversation with you.
Thanks, ladies.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.